Talking sports with the 12th man kicking off Wednesday, June 17th. Let's go. You guys having a good time? You ready for this, America? Another awesome show.
Let's make it do what it do, baby.
NBA draft is next week. We got a lot of things to talk about. Talk about World Cup. Got to talk about college football. Got to talk about NBA. Knicks just won. The city is still standing. Gary, Rob, the city is still standing. So we were.
As of now, the parade is tomorrow. Let's see if they make it through the parade.
I was going to say, but I think the parade's tomorrow.
Maybe a little early. We got to talk about some college football, baseball, a lot of things to discuss, man. So we are super excited to get you guys going on again. Another edition of Talking Sports with the 12th man. Let's go. And a side note for Gary's sports talk show. So we'll have some fun here, man. So Gary, I'm gonna let you have the first lead, man. You know, there it is. We see you, Rich. Hold on. Appreciate you guys. Let me get this a little larger so we can see what you're saying, Rich. I'm messing around with some stuff here.
All right. Well, hey, since you're messing around with stuff, I'll go ahead and talk. You know, last week, I'm doing great. Had a great week. Wife and I spent the day swimming in the pool. Had a little barbecue. Had a good night. Fantastic. Okay. But last week I forgot to mention that that Rick Adelman passed away.
Yeah, we were going to ask about that.
And you know, he was a Blazer coach for quite a while, and also had some success with the Blazers. It led him to, you know, 2 finals, and also he had some pretty good success with Sacramento. Led him to 2 Western Conference, and I didn't know this, but he's the 10th all-time winningest coach. So I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that, but I just wanted to say rest in peace to Mr. Adelman. Had a chance to meet him a few times at some events that the Blazers had for season ticket holders. Very nice guy, very approachable. So rest in peace.
There you go. Yeah, we were wondering why you didn't say anything about that, but we figured you had a lot of things happening, you know, obviously with family and whatnot too. So we appreciate the shout out, and yeah, that dude was just a class act, just a very successful, highly successful coach.
I have some other NBA news that I wanted to discuss.
Yeah,
we have a 2026 NBA all ugly team.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've got Greg Oden on the all ugly team. You know, Greg Oden,
not Greg
Oden, Trailblazer. He looked 44 when he was a rookie for the Portland Trailblazers. He looked older than LeBron James looks now.
That's crazy.
You know, another person that made the all ugly team was Sam Cassell. Obvious reason.
Not the alien. Hey, man, Sam Cassell, you got to face the only mother can love, man.
Hey,
we can talk about people, man.
Another one that made the all ugly first team was Mark Eaton.
Oh, not Mark Eaton.
Remember Mark Eaton?
Yeah.
I
got a classic Michael Jordan story about Mark Eaton.
Not the dunk, Jordan. Not the dunk. Probably.
Yeah, the dunk.
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep
Jack Sikma.
Oh, man, you going way back. I remember Jack Sikma. He had an ugly shot too.
Wow.
And Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Not Earl the Pearl. Man.
Those are your start. Now, the honorable mentions would definitely have to be Dennis Johnson and, you know, Chris Anderson, the Birdman.
Oh,
would have to be mentioned on that. But that's Richard and I were talking about that a couple weeks ago, so I thought he had sent me a message earlier, so I thought I'd bring up the NBA.
That's crazy.
Good evening, Richard. We'll let you get your story in there too, Rob, and welcome to the Gary Show. Yes, and we'll talk about the Trailblazers first. What was that reference to, Richard? Was that reference to something I missed as far as the first pick, or what did we miss for that?
Oh, yeah, I don't know, but that was probably Greg Oden.
Okay. Greg Oden went to my high school, man. That's kind of tough, man. We think he was older than what he actually was, man.
Eric Montross went to your high school, too.
He sure did, too, and Mike Connolly, too. So all 3 of those guys went to Lawrence North in Indianapolis. So let's go, man. So definitely and Eric had passed, man. So we had some big men. We had some great big men. Rob, what's your story about? Adam was first one. Okay, gotcha. What was your story, Rob, about Mark Eaton?
No, I think you already kind of teased to it. Michael Jordan was playing against the Utah Jazz, and I can't remember who he dunked on, but it was a small guy, guard, and somebody in the fans audience yelled out to Michael Jordan and said, "Dunk on somebody your own size." So Michael Jordan came down the court and dunked on Mark Eaton. He turned to the fan and said, "Is he big enough?"
Yeah. Was that Thurman? I thought was it Mel Turbin? I thought it was Mel Turbin. I mean, I remember watching that as well, Rob. I don't know if that's
it was a smaller player he dunked on, and the fans said,
I remember that, but I thought it was like Mark Turbin was the guy he dunked on, or Mel Turbin or something like that too. Because I heard that story. I remember like it was from the.
I think it was Eaton.
Yeah, I thought it was Eaton. Yeah.
But you could be right. Yeah, because I remember that because it was on I Believe I Can Fly. It was on the. I used to always watch that too. So it's
when Gary brought up the name Mark Eaton, that's what came to mind.
Mel Turbin.
Mark Eaton was 7'4".
Jack Sigma did have that ugly shot, but God,
he shot the ball kind of like this.
Yeah, and he would.
He was a good shooter though.
He would step back as he shot, and his release was way back.
Yeah,
way back here.
But he was a good shooter.
Look it up, man. I think I'm not trying to say, but there was if you Google it, it said he famously posterized 6'11" center Mel Turbin during the 1987 game because the fan was tackling. The fan just yelled, "Pick on somebody your own size." He dunked over 6'1" Jazz point guard John Stockton, and he responded, "Hey, he dunked over Turpin." He said, "Hey, was he big enough?" So that was
okay. Maybe I got it wrong.
So, no, but like I said, Rob, you're right. 90% of the time. You're wrong 90% of the time, so I had to get my little 1% in there, so it's all good. Man. So
I mean, right 90% of the time, man.
That's what I'm saying. You're right. I see. Again, you're right 90% of the time. I got to get myself correct. So that's what
I thought he was slipping that wrong in there on you too.
No. I said he's normally right 90% of the time, and I'm like, I got to double triple check myself. So I'll be getting some stuff. So it's all good. Hey, let's have some fun here. Let's talk about a lot of things here. Rob, how you feeling this evening, sir? You doing all right?
Oh man, doing fabulous, man. Doing absolutely fabulous. Got the nightly asparagus in with some Chilean sea bass. So man, we ready to rock and roll. Let's do it.
That was my bad, America, for throwing that in there. Follow us on X, 12th Man Sports, YouTube, and other 12th Man Sports. Follow us. We're live on Facebook. All that fun stuff. We got a lot of things to get into here. And shout out to JQ. I know he's flying on a plane right now. He will be back next week because we miss his hilarious energy as well too. So let's get into some World Cup, guys. Obviously, Messi's hat trick last night. Rob takes the take with that too, man. So go ahead.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, phenomenal performance, man. 38-year-old Messi still doing it, man. Still doing it at a high level.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he put his stamp on GOAT status last night. Man, that was an incredible performance. And so Argentina is going to be one of the teams that everybody wants to watch, not only here in the U.S., not only in Argentina, but around the world, just to watch Messi. So, he definitely made the World Cup very exciting on last night for sure.
Yep. Any recaps for England versus Croatia? Saw that. I think England pulled off that one the last time I was looking at that, if I'm not mistaken, too, right? Is it a 4-2?
Yeah, man. 4-2. Big win for England. These two countries played against each other in the semifinals in the last World Cup, right? Mm-hmm. And so Croatia made a really good run in the last World Cup. But, England kind of made it look easy on today. For sure.
Yeah, I see your message here, Richard, about Pele.
Let's go. I agree. We agree on that one. We agree on that, Richard. He's definitely no Pele. Pele is the GOAT, right? Every number 10.
Oh, that's the all-time GOAT.
Yeah. Anytime you get the number 10 is that's reserved for that, that status. So anytime you get the number 10 jersey, you're in that rare stratosphere for two, man. So you are 1,000% correct. I agree with you, Richard. On that
Harry Kane for England today with 2 goals too. I mean, I don't know where England would have been without him today too.
Yeah, and then shout out to the American squad too, man, because I'm sure Paraguay, that was a huge win. We didn't know what to expect of scoring 4 goals. That was kind of like an ass kicking, man. Paraguay was favored in that match. For us to come in and just score those goals, and it's a different looking squad. So
they're very good defensively.
Yeah, man. So it's a very different looking squad for the USA. So they came all guns blazing. Christian as well. I know they call him Captain America, but I'm just happy to see the squad and it's making some plays too. Because US, I'm like, okay, 4-1. I mean, they made it look a little easier than expected, I would imagine. But that's a good win for the United States as well. World Cup favorites, Rob. Right now, who do we have as far as some favorites here?
Well, I think obviously Argentina with Messi is going to be right there in the mix.
Yep.
But also you got to watch France with Kylian Mbappe, who might be the world's current best player, right? Messi has been the best for the last 16, 18 years or so, but Kylian Mbappe might be the world's best player currently. So you got to think that France is going to be the favorite, but I think Argentina is going to be right there. I think, in my opinion, I think those will be the top two teams. But that's why they play it. Italy, Germany, England, they're going to be right there in the mix too.
Argentina, France, Spain, England, Portugal, Brazil.
Yeah.
There's some flat out
powerhouses.
There's some really any of those teams right there that I just mentioned can win it all.
100%. Yeah. Shout out to
and DR Congo tied Portugal today, and I didn't understand why they kept rotating Ronaldo out of the game for Portugal today, but I mean they ended in a tie. It's interesting. Some of these countries, they celebrate when they get a tie. I'm like, man, what is going on?
That happens a lot in this.
Cape Verde with ties, Spain, man, they were celebrating, man. They brought the goat out and everything.
They were excited, man. That's the one goal that they got, Rob. It's like, oh my God, it's crazy. Shout out to Duke. Appreciate you showing into. Yeah, we talked about that's probably as you mentioned, as far as USA having the biggest World Cup win in history, and he is 1,000% correct. You got to wait for Argentina to play a better team because Messi was just kind of going out pretty easily, man. So he's made some good points on that as well too. So Gary, I like it. They're Brazil. Yeah, usual suspects. Yeah, those guys are always going to be tough. This is exciting, I would say, too, guys, because it feels like, this is the one time where the world stage is here, right? So this is, you can this is a true picture of who's the best in the world, man. So this is a kind of an exciting situation, to see all countries compete, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of energy, with these matches, man. And I mean, a lot of energy, man. I was in San Diego on Friday night, and man, it was just a lot of countries just gathered up together and celebrating their countries and things of that nature. And it's definitely a lot of energy with the World Cup for sure. From New York to Seattle to Atlanta, LA, San Diego. I mean, all over the country. I mean, I was in Salt Lake on last night, and there were people gathered around in the sports bar with Messi, and so there's a lot of energy right now with the World Cup.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, we're going to make a quick switch. Yeah, so we want to show some love to World Cup because that's kind of top of mind and what's happening current event-wise, and we'll kind of circle back around and meet it. Let's do definitely get some more comments here. Appreciate you, Duke, again. Soccer is pretty big right about now, too, in spite of, certain low-scoring games, but it's been pretty good energy, as you said earlier, Rob. All right, gentlemen, let's talk about the most balanced. Yeah, it is definitely the most balanced World Cup. So it's kind of good, like, because you got an even playing field. You want that competition, right? So that's what makes it super, super exciting. We're gonna get to the college football top 5 this season, guys. And whenever I was doing some research, guys, there's a consensus right now as far as heading into the season. And right now, this is the consensus I'm looking at when I was looking this up. You got Indiana, obviously, coming off of the undefeated national championship season. We talk about what's happening. I know there's some question marks as far as a quarterback, but we did bring in TCU transfer Josh Hoover to anchor Cincinnati's squad. So we'll see how that plays out. I know there's some question marks as far as that, but Kirk Cincinnati's team is so strong. We don't need him to do a lot. We got Nick Marshall. We got a lot of good transfers in. So the point is just to kind of hold down the ship. Indiana is not surprising anyone, so it's going to be a tougher road, I would say, for sure. Especially, we're going to talk about Oregon. I think I got the number 5. But Texas, obviously, we got is number 2. High expectations for the Longhorns with Arch Manning, obviously. They got Auburn transfer receiver Cam Coleman, Rob, just as an option. Number 3, I got Notre Dame. Again, they boast protected first-round quarterback C.J. Carr. Veteran defense that remains pretty intact, so that's a good, obviously Notre Dame is going to be up there. Georgia continues to reload underneath Kirby Smart. They've been always ranked in the top 5 all preseason in the coaches polls. And then Oregon, we're going to show some of the Oregon. Dante Moore coming back, loaded receiving corps. He's coming back with the mission, if you will. And the Ducks are heavy favorites to compete for a Big Ten crown and a college football championship berth. So that's kind of the consensus, what I've been looking at. And I'm going to make a quick comment. Yeah, really quickly for Duke. The atmosphere is great. Scottish fans, all that fun stuff. Japanese fans eating, plates of barbecue in Texas. It's been a good, energy. So thanks for that. Duke, as far as World Cup too. So anyway, I want to make sure I got that comment in as well.
Yeah, a similar 5 for me. I got Texas number 1.
Yeah,
and I know I had Texas preseason number 1 last year, and they bit me in the ass on last year. But I'm going to go again with Texas number 1, and I tell you why, because they got an impact player at almost every key position. Arch Manning really showed a lot at the end of the year. He showed a lot in the bowl game. So he looked like he's transitioning into being that first-round draft pick, which we expect him to be in next year's draft, right? But then you look at the left tackle position, which is also another important position in football. They got Trevor Gooseby coming back, and he could be a top 15 pick at the left tackle position. And wide receiver now, for me, has become one of the more impactful positions in football. And they got Cam Coleman, as Andre just mentioned. He'll be the second best wide receiver in college football next season behind Jeremiah Smith.
Over Ryan Matthews from Alabama, right?
From Ryan Williams, yeah.
Ryan Williams.
Wow. Ryan Williams had last year.
Yeah, well, yeah. Keep going. I got you.
Yeah. And then you got an edge rusher in Colin Simmons, who could be a top 10 pick in the draft next year. So for me, Texas has, if those guys stay healthy, they got impactful players at the most important positions. So that's the reason why I have them number 1. I got Oregon number 2. And for a lot of the same reasons Andre already talked about, Dante Moore coming back at the quarterback position, that Jamari Johnson might be the best tight end in college football next season. He'll be back for Oregon. And I think Oregon's going to have one of the best defensive lines in college football next season, with Amari Washington at the defensive tackle position and Ugungleye at the edge rusher position. So you're talking about 4 guys right there that could also be first-round picks for out of Oregon next season. So I have Oregon.
Mid first-round picks.
Yeah, Dante Moore, I think could be the number 2 overall pick in the draft,
yeah.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
But the other guys, you're right, will be mid to late first-round picks. I think I have them at number 2. I have Notre Dame at number 3. C.J. Carr, the quarterback position, Lloyd Carr's grandson. You saw him really take a next step toward the end of the season. I think that's going to carry over. And then I think they're going to have the best cornerback in college football, Leonard Moore, who could be a top 10 pick in the draft on next season. Number 4, I got Georgia. I get Gunnar Stockton back at the quarterback position. But I think we haven't seen really a Kirby Smart defense out of Georgia the last couple of years. They were really young last year. But I think this year you'll see close to a Kirby Smart defense. And I hate it, right? But, having Ellis Robinson at the cornerback position, they'll be better in the front 7. So I think Kirby Smart will have that team ready to play. I got Ohio State number 5, and a lot of people probably think I'm crazy for having them at 5. But the only reason I have them at 5, they lost a lot of defensive studs. And Ohio State recruits really well, but until I see it, they lost Sonny Styles. They lost Caden McDaniel on the defensive tackle position. They lost Alvin Reese. So they lost a lot of talent on that defense. Offensively, Ohio State was going to be one of the best teams in the country. And Julian Sand at the quarterback position, Bo Jackson, running back, Jeremiah Smith at wide receiver. I'm just a little concerned about their defense. But offensively, they're going to be lights out. They're going to be tough to stop.
I've got basically the same thing, except I put Oregon at 1 and Texas at 2. But I think you could flip-flop them. I could have easily flip-flopped them. Notre Dame at 3, Georgia at 4, and I had Ohio State at 5. And I had my Canes at 8.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah. That's good.
Well, I do think the Canes are the favorite in the ACC for sure. Darian Mintz at the quarterback position. They got the wide receiver back.
Yeah.
Malachi Tony.
Amon Moten at the defensive tackle position, I think will be good. Yeah, for them as well. I think he can be a late first-round pick. So, yeah, Miami by far is a favorite in the ACC in my opinion.
The Malachi Tony, that's who I thought was number 2 after
in some of these coaches polls, they had let's see, the ACC team that's always up there,
Clemson.
Up there. Clemson, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just brain fart. Yeah, they had Clemson. Some of these polls that I looked at today had Clemson in the top 5.
That's crazy.
I don't see that.
No, I don't see it. They might barely get in the top 25.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the hell is up with that. And there were several polls that had that. I don't know if you guys looked at many of them.
You sure you looked at last year's polls?
No. They were there.
Yeah. Good stuff, Duke. Yeah, I like it. Texas, Georgia in the SEC Championship, Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, Notre Dame should all make it. Not too surprised. They had to change rules for always North. Notre Dame is always complaining about what happened, and same within that. Like I said, there's we'll keep an eye. I mean, like I said, Ohio State they're spending a lot of NIL money, so they're gonna be in there as well too. So we'll figure out how that plays out too. I don't know, Gary. This is perfect for you to talk about Texas Tech and what's happening with that, and then also what's happening. How does that impact having Dylan Raiola as well too? Because I'm sure that opens up an interesting situation for him with the gambling that's happening right now too.
Well, Sorsby, he won that temporary injunction so he can play, but he's going to be suspended so far as it stands right now.
Yeah,
and that's how every article I read is how it stands right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's something else down the pike, but he's the first 2 games. They're going to play Oregon State, and I don't know who else. They got another game that's just one that they're not going to need him in. But as far as what this suspension, he's got to go he's first of all, he's got to serve a suspension. Yeah. He's got to get counseling for his addiction. He's got to go to Gamblers Anonymous, plus individual counseling, clinical counseling, peer support counseling, and then he's got to wear a monitor on him to keep his ass, I guess, out of these casinos or anywhere near it. And he has to have a financial someone that takes care of his finances on this. So he's they've got him locked down. And my point is, gosh,
wow. But see, you see Richard's comment, and I saw the note too that he's not going to play because he's declared for the supplemental draft. I don't know if you saw that. That just what came out.
Is he?
Yeah, that happened the past day. He's not going to play for Texas Tech this year. He's declaring for the supplemental draft. So
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that happened literally within the past
And then that's probably just to get out of all of this.
Yeah.
I tell you what, college football dodged a bullet right there.
100%.
The last thing they needed was a gambling scandal. Texas Tech was fighting to keep him, and now he did the best, not only for him but for college football, and declare for the supplemental draft, right? And look. I don't think he's out of the woods. Obviously, the NFL may still bring down some discipline on him, even though this happened when he was not in the league, right? And it's going to be interesting. He's a talented kid, right? Got great mobility. He can make all the throws. It's going to be interesting to see what team places a bid on him in the supplemental draft here, right? Obviously, I would think the Jets will be interested. I would think the Cleveland Browns will be interested.
Could be. Let me ask you guys this:
are these teams going to be willing to take that risk on a guy who gambled and bet on his own team? Right? You know, I heard Damian Woody say the other day, you know, the first time he throws an interception, the team gonna be looking at him. Did he do that on purpose?
That's another conversation.
I mean, that kind of comes with the territory, right?
Yeah.
In that, and I'm thinking, so if a team, I don't think he's going to have a lot of options,
right?
Even though he's talented, because he's. Do you guys see a lot of teams wanting this guy?
Somebody's going to take a chance.
Somebody's going to take him.
It depends on.
Somebody's going to take him.
Yeah.
Look, I did not have him in my top 32. I had him as a second round grade in next year's draft, right? So I definitely don't see anybody using a first round pick in the supplemental to take him. Do I think a team will take a chance on him second round or later? You know, he's talented, and he's a quarterback.
Right.
So I think somebody is going to pull the trigger and take a chance on him, especially.
You know, if I were that GM and I wanted, and that was somebody that I wanted, like Cleveland, that they don't have any quarterbacks.
I mean, you look at a team like the Jets, right? Jets got, from my understanding, I think the Jets got 3 first-round picks in next year's draft.
Yeah, they do.
Right?
Yeah.
And if they have a second rounder or third, it might be worth the risk. Take a shot.
Why not? Why not?
And then, bring him under some, if they would, bring him under some strict contractual guidelines on this is what we're expecting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Similar to some of these things that, Texas Tech was going to lay out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so this is what Richard was talking about.
Yeah, they have 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, this is what Richard's talking about too. So the question is, now this is interesting because Dylan Raiola, right? He's the backup at Oregon, but he's a huge fan of Patrick Mahomes. He's been compared to Patrick Mahomes, and is he going to bolt to go to Texas Tech now because there's an opening? And that's the speculation that we're looking at right now, because I don't have to sit for a year and wait under Dante Moore. I can literally play right now, especially if the money or the situation is right, because there's already kind of some smoke about that situation that it kind of worked out kind of perfectly because Dylan's like, hey, I'm here, so let's keep an eye on this, man. He already has what Richard, finish that thought, man. So it's just something to think about. I know he's kind of made 2 back-to-back transfers and everything like that too, but let's keep an eye on that. And it's crazy how things happen that quickly.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if he's eligible to transfer right now, though. I think the transfer portal has to be open, and it's not open at the moment. So I don't know what stipulations around that are. But from my understanding, if the transfer portal window is not open, the only way you could transfer is with a coaching change, a graduate transfer, or a hardship waiver, a player facing extreme, extenuating personal circumstances.
How's it already done, Richard? He's already transferred? Okay.
There is a rumor out there that he has already transferred, but I'm trying to figure out how, because the transfer portal window.
That's what I was looking at. I was looking at the timing because the last note that I said, it was in April the 30th, Rob, because the transfer window closes at a certain point. I got to look at the exact date. So, like you said, I hear.
Well, what could he possibly use as a tool in that situation? What is his hardship? Hey, I want to get my $5 million from this other team.
Mm-hmm.
Financial.
There's an AI overview that it said, Rob, that he is transferring from the Ducks to the Texas Red Raiders. This is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I've seen that, but if
I don't know how
no major news publication is reporting it.
But I hear that too. That's the thing too. So
that's all right, Richard. We're trying to look it up ourselves.
It's going like 12th man. Our sources haven't given us any accurate information on that.
It looks like X and stuff like that, but we got to be very careful as far as that too, because we can be making up stuff too, like I said, man. So, I don't know how he's gonna pull this off, but unless it was kind of orchestrated. Texas Tech, okay, you're forced to Brandon go to the go to the draft. Okay, cool. If he goes to draft, then we got to get a quarterback. Okay, we can get something's got to be. There's probably some back end deals happening if something like this happened without the official transfer portal window, Rob. That's the only thing I can think of, man. So this is just there's probably some back end deals, man. Anyway, let's get this going here. Super interesting to say the least. We'll see if this actually transpires. It wouldn't be a situation. Let's
the
do
way college football is structured. You can't put anything past it.
It's a wild, wild west. Let's talk about the LSU quarterback situation, Rob.
Well, obviously Sam Levitt, all indications are he's going to be healthy for training camp. So, I mean, I don't see any issues with him being the starting quarterback, this coming season. So I think it'll definitely be Sam Levitt. But LSU did sign, transfer quarterback from a USC who was a 5-star recruit. And I'm trying to remember his last name. I'm trying to look it up. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
But Hussein, Husan,
I remember him. Yeah.
He's dual threat guy, can run. Obviously, Lane Kiffin was able to convince him to come and sit at LSU for a year and to hopefully start quarterback.
Hussein Longstreet.
Yeah, Hussein Longstreet. But yeah, he was a 5-star recruit out of high school. And, like I said, Lane Kiffin was able to acquire him. And I think LSU even paying him like $2 million to be a backup this year.
Yeah.
And to learn the system. And then when Sam Levitt graduates at the end of this year, that Longstreet will be the future for LSU the next couple of years as a starting quarterback.
There you go. Yeah. Any exciting things about Oregon, about Dante Moore? Gary, your thoughts on that?
No, I don't have any information. I didn't have any information on this other topic either. Apparently.
That's okay. No, you're fine. I didn't know if you wanted to kind of, I didn't mean to throw you wolves like that. I was just curious if you want to talk about that. It's all good. Do a quick latest on the Dodgers, Rob.
Hey, they now have the best record in baseball all of a sudden. I know the Braves had that title for quite some time. Max Muncy's been playing outstanding for the Dodgers here. And they've been getting some good pitching. Yamamoto had an incredible game this past weekend. Had a perfect game going into the 8th inning. Got an error and gave up a home run in the 9th, but they still won like 7-1. So they're 6-4 in their last 10 games. And they had a little stretch this year where they kind of got cold, but they're playing some pretty good baseball. And probably the only team that's hotter than them in the National League right now, the Brewers. Brewers are 7-3 in their last 10 games. And probably the only team that's hotter than them in the whole league right now is the Yankees. Yankees are 8-2 in their last 10 games.
Not so fast, my friend. Shit. Okay, okay. Keep going.
Nope.
It's all good.
Nope, that's it. Hey, they got the highest payroll in baseball. This is what's expected of them, right?
Right.
And the thing of it is Mookie Betts hasn't played his best baseball this year.
Yeah.
And if they can get him going, oh man, just look out. You can hand them another trophy.
I mean, the Braves are going to definitely try to combat this. What does the Mets team stand for? What does the Mets stand for, guys? What do the Mets stand for? The team?
Metropolitans.
My entire team sucks. I just want to say that. All right. Anyway. So,
that's cool.
That's for Tad out there. I know he's a Mets fan. He doesn't talk a lot of.
Freddie Freeman, former Brave, hit a 2-run homer today to beat the Rays.
Yeah. I'm joking here. That was a knock. It's interesting because I think regarding the Braves, we've been kind of surviving.
Hey, just a second. Richard says your audio feed is cut out.
I saw that.
Okay.
Cut out completely, or is it still? Hopefully, it's still going because I got a lot.
Is it still going, Richard?
A lot of things to say here. Just gotta make sure this is good. Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me? You guys can hear me, right?
I can hear you. We can hear you, I believe. Can you hear me?
As long as I'm not turning my head to the side here. I was gonna say, again, we've been surviving because we've been taking a lot of injuries to Acuna Jr.
Yeah.
Spencer Strider, obviously has not been the same pitcher ever since he had his surgery. Coming back from that, he's lost a lot of his velocity. And Austin Riley hasn't been playing that well either. So we've been having some challenges. Michael Harris has had some little nicks. He's been playing well, but then he's nicked up. We invested a lot in our bullpen this year too. So getting Suarez and obviously we're signing Iglesias. So that's a recipe for success in the postseason, I believe. And obviously Chris Sales has been his usual self, but it's tough to depend on just an older Chris Sale. A lot of our younger pitchers, Swellenbach, Waltrip, they've been coming off injuries. We got we've been able to J.R. Ritchie pitched today. We didn't win today versus I don't know why the Giants are giving us a challenge. They're not that great. We lost both games of them, so that's not good. But we're kind of definitely better start. We're going to talk about a lot of the pitchers. We've been linked to a lot of pitchers from Skubal to every pitcher out there. You guys have been linked to the Yankees as well to pitching, but we'll talk about that in another topic. But it's tough, man. I'm happy with the success, and I think Alex AA and Anthopoulos, he's been having an interesting situation because that World Series team, I think every move he made was a grand slam. He was able to make. I got Jock Peterson. I got Eddie Rosario. He got every Jose Jorge Soler. Everyone he signed has they played phenomenal. So now I think whenever he calls and they're like, "Hey, I'm not giving up a player. Why does Alex want this guy?" So I think it's a little tougher for him to make these moves. That's why we're getting these guys that are coming off of you're injured or hey, this guy used to be good. So Alex hasn't been able to make those deals. And then that's why our draft's going to be super important. That's why we're not trying to give a lot of prospects because we realize that it's a little tougher sledding for him to make all these deals. So, again, unless something happens that's just going to be immaculate, it's going to be a little tougher road. But I'm happy with Walt Weiss and what we've been able to do so far. But, obviously, kudos to the Yankees. Kudos to the Dodgers. We knew that it was going to be a tough race. I'm just happy to see that the Phillies suck it too and the Mets. My entire team sucks. There you go.
Yep. Yeah, and Tariq Skubal. Yeah, the Dodgers and Yankees are going to be in play at the Tigers.
100%.
Decide to trade them. But I think the Braves, and believe it or not, I think the Brewers, Blue Jays, and reportedly the low-budget Tampa Bay Rays will get involved possibly, right?
Yeah.
I don't buy that one.
Yeah,
wow.
So I think that the Dodgers, Yankees, and the Braves will be the top three.
Yep.
But there's some other organizations that are considering making a move. And when you look at the Major League Baseball standings right now, the American League is really weak, right? So I don't think any teams want to make a move yet, right? Especially the American League. You look at the American League, Yankees are the only team in the American League that's over 600. And they have injuries. I mean, the Yankees still without Max Fried, Carlos Stanton, Aaron Judge. The Rays have the second best record in the American League. So, if they feel like they're one player away could possibly compete for a title, you might make a kind of a run at it, right? But even the Tigers, last year, if you remember, the Tigers got hot at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And they're only 9 games back in their division, in a weak division. And the White Sox are in first place. So I don't think the Tigers are ready to give up on Skubal yet. I think if they continue to fall down and out of the pennant race, then they may move. But I think right now they're going to still see what they can do to possibly get back and closer to the top of the division and see what happens. But if you look at the what's interesting right now of the American League, if the playoffs started today, the A's will be in the playoffs with a losing record.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
if you're the Tigers, you're saying, hey, we're 9 games back of the White Sox in our division, and we're 6.5 games back from the last wild card spot. So it's probably too soon to give up on Skubal when you're that close to possibly still being in the playoff chase.
Yeah.
But if they do, the Braves are a perfect fit, really.
I agree. Yeah.
Oh, I think the perfect fit would be the Yankees.
Well, I do too, but the Yankees don't spend the money like they did. I miss the good old days.
We will.
Yeah, I got
somebody started coming out. It didn't matter who it was. What is Stein going to do is open his wallet up and just say, "You're a Yankee." Welcome.
Got to sold our pitcher, man. Got to sold the Braves. I'm joking. That was good. That was a good pickup for free, man. So I'm just come on. I mean, now, damn. Let us have something. Damn it, Braves freaking.
Y'all have
I do think that's a real good fit.
Y'all don't need Skubal. The Yankees need
get
Skubal.
the heck out of here. Yeah. Strider's been hurt, man. He had him in the same picture, man. That's he, and they shut him down for a couple weeks, man. That's.
I think if he leaves, it'll be between the Braves and the Dodgers. I think the Yankees will sit on their hands.
No, they won't.
Let's see.
I know you don't want them to, Rob.
They won't. They won't sit on their hands for this. They won't. You really think about it, the only player they missed out on was Juan Soto. They were able to sign Max Fried. They made some moves. So I'm not saying they're going to get him, but I don't think they're going to sit on their hands either.
There's a ton of pitchers out here, man, that I'm looking at the trade deadline. Freddie Peralta.
If you don't get him with that organization, you're sitting on your hands.
Yeah.
If they got the money to go out and get him.
We'll see. All right.
Major League Baseball might be in for a strike, people.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
What are you reading this about, Rob? Where'd you get that from?
No. I mean, no, seriously. The owners want a salary cap, and the Players Association doesn't. And so we may be headed for a lockout after this season with baseball.
Oh, my God. They didn't learn the lesson from last time, did they?
Nope.
Yeah, Lord have mercy.
So, you look at the NBA, you look at the NFL, both of those leagues have salary caps, and it almost makes it for a competitive balance, right? So in Major League Baseball, it's not set up that way. If you're a Yankees fan, you love it. If you're a Dodgers fan, you love it, right? But if you're a Kansas City Royals fan, you don't.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's a huge disparity between the haves and the have-nots in Major League Baseball, right? But then you go to the NFL, you got to, you have cities like Green Bay and New Orleans and Jacksonville that have the same amount of spending capital as the New York Giants or the Dallas Cowboys, right? So in the same, we saw NBA Finals last year was Indiana and Oklahoma City, right? So the small market teams can compete in the NBA and NFL, but you'll have it maybe every so often in baseball, but they won't last because the big teams will scoop all their players.
Right.
Yeah, you're not wrong. All right.
So do you see it coming?
All indications are baseball is heading for a lockout.
Wow. All right. Interesting.
Well, the lockout's one thing. Do you see it coming to where they have a cap on that?
I don't think the players want to budge on that. They may reach some kind of agreement at some point, but I don't see baseball going on a salary cap. The players don't want it. The players like that the Dodgers and the Yankees are going to spend top dollar. The Mets, they like the fact that they can rely on those teams to spend top dollar. So I can't see the players giving into it.
All right. Let's move on to some starting QB not controversies, but some starting QB situations here. So we're going to start out number one with the Las Vegas Raiders. And if you're looking at the quarterbacks, they've got both, obviously, Kirk Cousins, who they signed, and the number one pick, Fernando Mendoza. And whenever we brought this subject up, there's a part of us that says, right now, if we're looking at the schedule, they don't have a bye until week 13. So, that kind of throws out the window if he's going to start after a bye. But if you were kind of the Las Vegas Raiders, I'm sure you want to start the season out with Kirk Cousins. Yep. And then at some point, you want to hand over the reins to Mendoza. The question is when and kind of what does that look like in this instance, too? Because from reports, he's been really fantastic in camp. I definitely think, Kirk is kind of, the more veteran guy, obviously, and, maybe he's been a little bit more removed from his injury that he suffered. The Vikings still haven't recovered from the loss of Kirk Cousins in a secondary note, but at some point, I think going to hand over the reins to the young fella, man. So what do you think about this? Like I said, the bye week is not until week 13. Is that like a week 10, week 7 kind of situation? What do you guys see as far as handing over the reins to Mendoza for the quarterback?
My prediction is going to be earlier than that. I think week 4, week 5-ish.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Early in the season.
Now, Rob, let me ask you a question with that scenario. So let's say they're 4-1, hypothetically speaking. You think that's when they turn it over to the young guy?
No, if they're 4-1, they're gonna stick to Cousin longer.
100%.
But I don't see them being 4-1. That's why I think it's gonna be week 4, week 5.
Right. I was just giving a scenario. The one thing that I would say about it, though, is that's really an ideal situation for Mendoza, because I think Kirk Cousins has got the mentality where he'll help coach that kid up and work with him.
Yeah.
And not be like some of these, prima donna superstar quarterbacks that just won't. That'll just sit there on the sideline and let this guy, wing it on his own. He'll give them every opportunity to be successful. At least that's what my feeling is on that.
Yeah. They got to get him signed. He's one of the few first-round picks that's not signed yet, too, right? So, obviously, that's a concern. But I think they'll work that out. But, yeah, I see that being somewhere around week 4, week 5. It gives him an opportunity to sit back, see the game from a different perspective, from the NFL perspective. And then week 4, week 5, you turn it over to him. I mean, he's a mature kid. So it's not like he's a guy that's only played like 1 year college football. He had some success at Cal. Obviously had a lot of success at Indiana. So he's a mature kid. I'm going to say they let him sit back for about 4 weeks or so, 3 or 4 weeks. Then he takes over the reins here. You look at their schedule.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, you look at their schedule to start the season here.
Miami.
They open up at home against the Dolphins. Actually, it's a winnable game.
Yeah.
They on the road against the Chargers. I don't see them winning that. Then they on the road against my Saints. I don't see them winning that. Then they at home against the Chiefs. I don't know what Patrick Mahomes' status is, but I don't see them winning that, and I don't see them winning at the Patriots. Then they at home against the Bills. Then they at home against the Rams. I don't see them winning those games.
The Jets may be their one shot. They may have an opportunity to win.
Yeah.
They're probably lost for the 49ers. Probably lost against Seattle. That may be the same thing. Broncos probably lost. They may win against the Browns. And, Chargers lost. Broncos lost. Tennessee, maybe that's a toss-up. Arizona should be win. And like you said, so that looks like a 4-5 and squad there, man.
They're going to be improved.
Right.
It's going to be incremental improvement, right? So they're going to show some improvement this year, but it won't be a playoff team, obviously. They could win their first game, in my opinion, at home against the Dolphins. We'll have to see what Malik Willis does as a full-time starter. And Dolphins gave up some of their weapons. And the Raiders are going to have some weapons, right? They're going to have a 1-2 punch at the running back position. They're going to be better at the tight end position and wide receiver. We'll have to see about their defense, but they're going to be better this year, but not better enough to the standpoint where they're going to go to the playoffs.
Right.
If I'm looking at this right now, Rob, based on the schedule, I've got them winning 5 games. That lets them 5-12, and like you said, much improved. Like I said, I'll give them the Dolphins. All these other, you never know. I've got
give them the Saints.
I'm being nice. I gave them the Jets.
They're not going to beat the Saints in New Orleans.
I gave them the Jets. I gave them the Browns. I gave them the Titans and the Arizona Cardinals. So those are the games that I got them winning. So yeah, that's going to be a rough. They got a pretty tough schedule, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I'm looking at right now. So,
but they had a tough division too, right?
Get your lumps in, yeah.
You got the Chargers and the Broncos. That might be 4 losses for them right there.
Yeah.
We don't know, about Patrick Mahomes' status.
Yeah. The Raiders normally play the Chiefs well. The Raiders normally play the Chiefs well, though. That is one interesting situation, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, it's a rivalry. That's an old rivalry going back 100%. To the 60s.
Right. Mm-hmm. So anyway, Gary, what were you saying about that? I'm sorry. So what do you think?
I think that if that's the case, he may be in there in week 2 or 3.
He may be in week 2 or 3. Might as well. You might as well, right?
It depends on who they play in week 3 and 4. Who are they playing?
Saints or the Chiefs. Saints week 3, the Chiefs week 4. Sunday night. Those are both Sunday night.
No, they're not going to. They won't throw Mendoza. They won't throw Mendoza to go and try and play a inspired Saints team that plays well at home and they've got that crowd, they're not going to throw him in that. They're going to wait until they have a weaker opponent at home to start him.
But you got the Chiefs. You got the Chiefs at home, and that's it, man.
And October 4th, that might be the game. That Chiefs home game against the Chiefs on October 4th. That might be the game. I don't think they're going to start him his first game on the road. I really don't. So I don't see it happening at New England, and I don't see it happening, at New Orleans. So I think the Chiefs could be that game at home.
Richard, to your comment, it's going to figure on the wins and losses, and that was my scenario until I actually heard who they were playing, and then it's going to be okay. It's going to be a rough year,
but that's okay because Peyton Manning took his lumps. Troy Aikman took his lumps, and you can only get successful by playing for sure. And like you said, Rob, he's definitely a seasoned quarterback. I think the goal is to keep it competitive. That would be my kind of in line. Is they had a fantastic draft as well too, and they've got they still got weapons. Brock Bowers, you got some good good squad. Granted, obviously see what Clint Kubiak has in store. I'm kind of curious what happens in the Seahawks game too, but. You're just hoping for being competitive, I would say.
They're going to get slaughtered.
Every single game?
By the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a rough one.
He may have some insider news. We'll see about that one. We'll see. Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns situation, man. And I don't want to say feel sorry for the Cleveland Browns, but Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders have been playing. You've been hearing these inspired reports from practice, if you will, and Shedeur wants to play well. But what say you, Rob, in this instance as far as who gets the shot? I would lean towards Deshaun. He hadn't played for a couple years, but what say you on this particular battle?
I think it's going to be Deshaun Watson. All indication he has looked the best in all of their offseason workouts, right? And, obviously he's missed last year. He missed another year. He's been injury prone, but I think he'll be in a short leash too, though, right? If the Cleveland Browns get off to a rough start, I think you can see them going Shedeur Sanders. And the wild card here is, will the Browns be one of those teams that bid on Brendan Sorsby?
Yeah.
Right. And then if that's the case,
you might as well.
Yeah. If they take Sorsby, then I think he immediately moves up to number 2 behind Watson. And then you can have the exact scenario that you have with the Raiders, that Watson could be pulled in week 4 or week 5 and Sorsby takes over. That's the wild card with the Browns. But right now, based on what they have, I'm going to go Watson.
Browns and Jets always trying to figure out quarterback play. What's a Hugh Gary?
I agree with everything that Rob said in that scenario. The whole scenario, really. They're in a world of hurt. Because if you're counting on Deshaun Watson to be your savior, and he's your best,
the problem is
you're screwed.
The problem is
the Saints and the Falcons dodged the bullet with that one because we were both competing for him.
Yeah, that one's kind of tough, man. I think he kind of bowed out and got lucky. And mentioning that too, Rob, the point is he had a guaranteed $250 deal. I think Haslam wants to see him play, man. At least get something out of that, man. That dude, man. So let him play this season, and then hey, I got my money's worth. And going into the next season, I can either get another quarterback or turn the reins over, whatever. That's kind of, I would say.
So if he sucks, like
you look at the Browns' schedule, I don't see many wins on that schedule.
Well, they got Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Pittsburgh. They got Pittsburgh, and they got New York on the schedule. They're going to lose to Baltimore. They got Tennessee. They'll probably lose to Pittsburgh again. They'll probably beat New Orleans. I'm just joking. They got Houston. They'll probably lose that one. They got the Raiders. That's the one that we talked about. Well, that's the pick. That's the one I actually picked the Raiders to beat the Browns.
They may have a worse record than the Raiders.
Oh man.
They may have the worst record in football.
Yeah.
So is there a win? Will they beat New York? Is that the Jets? That is. Will they beat?
That's going to be a.
I don't see a clear win on their schedule. I'm sure they're going to win one of
Tennessee.
the 2 or 3 teams.
Tennessee, you don't see a win for that
But
one?
even that game is at Tennessee, and I think Tennessee's made a lot of enhancements to their roster.
Well, the Giants. Will they beat the Giants?
Even that one, it's in New York, right?
It is in New York, yes.
And with New York, I mean, they're another team to me that has improved this offseason, right? With Jackson Dart. They're going to get Scatterboo back at the running back position. All indications are they're going to have Malik Neighbors back. They made some nice additions to their defense. I don't see a true.
They're going to go 0-17. Is what you're trying to say?
I'm not saying they're going to go 0-17. They're going to sneak up and win a game or two.
Okay, so if it was 3 games, would you go over or under?
Oh my God! They gotta get 4 wins. They gotta get 4 wins in there.
I'm going under.
Somebody's got to take it for granted.
I'm going under.
So you think they're gonna win in 4 games or 3 games, Gary? 3
I'm
games?
going under 4 games.
You got under 4 games. You got to win in 3 games. Wow. They still got. They lost Myles Garrett too.
I'll be honest with you though, they have a talented roster. Just the quarterback position is the big question.
I'll make a note. Gary says
even after trading Myles Garrett,
with 3 games. Okay, 3 games. Okay, there it is. Dang. 3-14, huh? That's the record right there.
I mean, you saw Quinshawn Junkin playing really well at the running back position.
Yeah.
I know they lost the offensive lineman to retirement. They got Denzel Boston in the draft. Yeah. I mean, they have some talent on that roster.
That's funny.
I mean, Carson Schwessinger was the defensive player of the year last year, a rookie defensive player of the year. Let me clarify that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this team has some players. Mason Graham, a defensive tackle, Grant Delpit. The big question mark is just going to be the quarterback. If they can get quality quarterback play, they'll be better than we think they are.
Right. Let's move on to the next quarterback, the Vikings here. In this instance, I think this is Kyler Murray's job to lose in this instance. I think they made a pitch and sold him on the offense, and Kyler came in and said, "Yeah, I can beat out." Who's that guy? Yeah, I can beat him out.
AJ McCarthy?
No, not AJ McCarthy. I can beat out JJ McCarthy. That's what I can beat out, man. So, and JJ, man, I think his confidence is kind of up and down right now.
Yeah.
And there's no love lost. They're definitely competing. And, obviously Justin.
Well, this is definitely an upgrade for Kyler Murray.
Well, yeah, but then Justin Jefferson. Yeah, 100% better squad, better team than the Cardinals.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Better talent, better line, better
coaching.
Yes.
Jonathan Gannon was a disaster as a coach, man. That was terrible. Better defense with, Brian Flores.
I think he could actually do pretty well.
Same. This is a situation where if they just had decent quarterback play, the Vikings, that is, and they were like pining for Kirk Cousins.
They were 9-8 last year, and Andre Peterson was playing quarterback.
That's right, man. Yeah, that's pretty tough. So, but I think this is Kyler Murray's job in this instance too. Because
I think so too.
It's a situation where, go ahead.
I think it's going to be Kyler for sure. And I don't think the Vikings are giving up on J.J. McCarthy yet.
Yep.
But I recorded a clip a few days ago, and I talked about potential NFL players that could turn out to be a bust. And J.J. McCarthy was one of them. Right? Yeah. He missed his entire first season. The games that he did play last year, he was atrocious. And then he got hurt again last year. He's going to be sitting the pine this year.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're giving up on him yet.
Yeah.
But time is almost running out already. He picked the guy number 10th overall in the draft. So he's a potential bust.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting up there. Like I said, and I know everyone wants to be on the bandwagon how he made those fourth quarter comebacks, but yeah, man, there's some challenges. What are you about to say, Gary?
Oh, I totally agree with that. But maybe he'll prove me wrong. Look at these other quarterbacks in the league that have got a second chance down the road with a little extra time on the pines and come back and started playing well. So maybe he'll be one of those guys.
He's got a long road ahead of him, Gary.
Yes, he does. I was just trying to be nice.
I know. Like I said, I mean, and we're not talking shade or anything like that. So, I mean, the will is there, but just, only so much coaching.
You don't, and that's just, or the body that can take a beating at this level.
It's tough, man. I mean, some quarterbacks get a second win. I mean, we're talking about Sam Darnold, right? So we'll see how that plays out. He's still young, So again, they're gonna, and he's a first round draft pick, man. So he's gonna get a lot of opportunities. I would say, for sure. All right, let's go to my Falcons here. And in this scenario, I would say the best case would be for Michael Penix Jr. to be starting because he has the most talent, and he's a first round pick, and he looks good as far as our rookie contract. He's, I think he's in a better system that kind of again will accentuate his strengths. But the biggest challenge is him staying healthy. Now I know Tua. Everyone's been crapping on him. I mean, Tua has got experience. He's been a very extremely accurate quarterback. So that's one thing that Kevin Stefanski is a big fan of, being accurate. We signed him on, obviously, that 1 year veteran minimum deal. So that's a good situation. But I think Penix is more talented. Penix is more talented, if you will. That looks better for the Falcons, and I know that's why we're not really sure what we're going to do. They're like, who's going to play quarterback? So if you're the Falcons, you want Penix to take that, but he has to be healthy. That's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, I think Tua is going to be starting quarterback for the Falcons this season, right? I think, if you're really objective on Michael Penix's play, it hasn't been that great, right? And so I think it's definitely going to be Tua as the starting quarterback for the Falcons, and plus Penix is coming off of an injury. And I recorded a clip about potential busts, and I actually have Michael Penix Jr. in that category too, as a potential bust. Obviously, he was hurt a lot throughout his college career. He's already torn his ACL in the NFL, right? And he has the mobility, but for some reason he won't run. He won't use it, right?
He used it a couple times last year. He used a couple times where he got hurt, Rob. I know there's a couple plays, but go ahead, finish your thought.
I mentioned that the Falcons spent a lot of time looking at quarterbacks in college football spring practices, right? That to me alone signaled that the fact that they're not confident in Penix. And there are even some rumblings that the Falcons may even consider the Brendan Sorsby thing too, right?
My God.
So I think Tua is definitely starting quarterback. And like I said, in my clip I recorded the other night, I mentioned Penix and J.J. McCarthy as two potential busts.
I think that Penix has more upside, and if he's healthy, I agree with Dre that if he's healthy, with his arm strength, his arm talent, I think he'll definitely be the starting quarterback. But he's got to be healthy, and he's got to show that he can stay healthy.
But you got to realize too, gentlemen, is that Penix tore his ACL in November. And we're going to ask that kid to come back and be your starting quarterback in September, 10 months from a torn ACL. Like, I know people have done it.
Yeah.
But that's not realistic. And it's not realistic to expect him to have that kind of success 10 months after a torn ACL. That's why I say Tua.
I understand that.
Definitely. Tua is the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to play.
And,
I don't know. I just watched so much of Penix.
If I'm a Saints fan, I would rather see Penix. But than Tua, because I think Tua is going to have the Falcons playing better.
Interesting.
I just watched Penix, up the road from, the University of Oregon up there, of the I-5, up on the I-5 there in Washington, and I thought, that guy's got some skills. And when he went to Atlanta, I think that the Falcons saw the same thing. Yeah. Of course, they brought Tua in, but I still believe that Penix, if he is healthy, it will be asking him a lot. With as much, it would be asking him a lot if he's healthy enough and they feel he's healthy enough to give him the start. I don't think that's going to be something that they're going to push him that way.
Right.
But if he is healthy enough, I think he's got more upside than Tua.
That's the challenge too, like you said, Gary, because the way he played in the first season for the last 3 games, he was on fire. Playing Washington, that was a great situation between him versus Jaden Daniels. We saw the coming out party, so you saw the potential, and that's why it's tough to be like, well, let's just cast that to the side. But I do hear he's built different, Rob. I mean, he's younger. I mean, he's had injuries, and obviously they were definitely astounded in how fast he came back too. But like you said, the ceiling is a lot higher. But you got to stay healthy. Tua is extremely accurate. So I know this is too much time we spent on the Falcons for Rob's thing, but it is very interesting to see what happens for sure.
And here's the other piece to this factor, right? You got a new head coach for the Falcons, and Kevin
Absolutely.
Stefanski, right?
Yeah.
Who has been taking all the offseason snaps so far?
100% Tua, 100%. Now
that's going to play a key role.
He's been taking snaps, obviously in 707, but Tua has been there for 11-11, and he's been taking every single snap, and that's a very, very key point for sure. So
that's significant.
100% significant. So we get that, so it's kind of tough. What I was saying is the best interest because Penix is a first-round draft pick. He's been hurt. Yes, for the Falcons, that kind of fits because this is the guy that, you've invested. You got him for 2 more years at the rookie deal. If Tua plays well, there's going to be some situation in contracts. So who knows, But at the end of the day, we got to get a quarterback. We got to figure this out either way. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
Hey, and here's another factor, too, you got to consider here, too. Who was the general manager when you drafted Penix?
100%, yeah. Terry Fontenot's gone.
Is he still in the building?
Terry Fontenot's gone. Raheem Morris.
Who was the head coach when you drafted Penix?
Yeah, we know Raheem Morris. He's gone.
Is he still in the building?
He's absolutely not in the building. We get all that.
Your offensive coordinator who drafted Penix, is he still in the building?
Absolutely not. We get all that. Whole new regime now, and Matt Ryan's there too. Matt Ryan knows a thing about quarterbacks, I would say. So again, they've done some analysis, and is this the guy? And like I said, there's, like I said, get healthy is your first thing, and then you got to prove it. So we're all on that.
Yeah.
We're almost wrapping this up, guys. We're going to spend the last part talking about some NBA because obviously the mock draft is next, or the NBA real draft is next week. And we'll talk about the mock draft, Rob. I know there's been some interesting movement, and we'll see how this plays out too because there's some Giannis details as far as Giannis and the trade details, whether he's going to the Celtics or the Heat. I think he wants to go to the Heat more than he wants to go to the Celtics, but it's not a good deal. The Celtics don't want the deal, the Bucks don't want the deal from Miami. They would rather have the deal from the Celtics. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about where, LeBron's going to land and a couple of offseason predictions because it's been a very interesting situation as far as that too. So let's talk about the mock draft, Rob. And I do want to do a quick thing because, by Atlanta Hawks fans, I do want to preface you guys because, we talk about, Damar at number 8. And I get what Rob's saying too because you don't want to necessarily at number 8, you want more of an impact player, not somebody that's going to be like, he's going to play 23 minutes. He's just going to get you decent rebounds. I get that. You want a more impact player at 8. But we'll see how it plays out as far as some moves, if you will, too. So I'm super excited about where it's going to happen. And I talked about if Jaylen Brown's there, F them picks, man. But it depends on what happens with Giannis and the Celtics, right? So
Jaylen Brown's not going to the Hawks.
And then Jaylen Brown. I know, like I said, I don't think that's the – I'm actually happy with the Hawks. We don't have to make all these crazy moves, too. So I know the Trailblazers were an option, too. But, there's a lot of moving pieces happening in the offseason right now. So let's go.
Yeah. I still got A.J. DeBansa number 1. I know there's some rumors out there that Washington may consider Darren Peterson, but I just don't think it's going to happen. When you talk about A.J. DeBansa, not only is he a great basketball player, but he's a very mature kid, right? And so sometimes you got to look at the individual, too, when you're picking somebody number 1. And he's a guy that's been working on his game all off season. He's worked to get stronger. He's already added about 10 pounds of muscle since the college basketball season ended. And his versatility, right? He can handle the rock. He can get to the rack. He can shoot it. He can defend. He's got long arms. He's 6'9". To me, that's what you're looking for in the NBA, right? So I got the DeBansa going number 1 to Washington. Darren Peterson is a talented kid, explosive when he's healthy, right? Can score the basketball. He doesn't have the length and defensive ability that DeBansa has, but I have him going number 2 to Utah. Cam Boozer, still got him going number 3 to Memphis. Obviously, you like his makeups. His dad played in the NBA. He comes with a lot of maturity, too, for his age. Caleb Wilson, another very mature young man, going number 4 to Chicago. He's got a good face-up game, 6'10". He can post you up as well, can run the floor like a deer. Darius Cuff Jr., right? And all indications are he's been flat-out impressive in workouts, right? I have him number 5 to the Clippers. I think he has a chance to be a slightly taller Allen Iverson. He's got that kind of ability, right? With quickness. He's got longer arms than Iverson. He's only 6'3", but he's got a chance to be a little bit taller version of Allen Iverson, maybe even a Jalen Brunson kind of player. He's got that kind of ability, in my opinion. I got Brooklyn going Keaton Wagler. You like Wagler's versatility because he can play the 1 or the 2. He can handle the rock. He's 6'5". He can stroke it, right? So you like him as a player. Number 7, I got Sacramento going Kingston Fleming. He's a 6'4" athletic point guard, right? His opportunity is his defense, but he's a guy that can get to the rack as well, can shoot it. So you like Kingston Fleming. And here's your pick, Dre. I finally got a Dave Maurer mock to the Hawks. 7'3" center out of Michigan, right? It's going to give them some size. Like I said, I think he's a guy that could be a double-double kind of player in the NBA. 15 points, 10 rebounds, 2 or 3 blocks. Not a superstar, but a guy that can give you what you need.
You get some consistency like that on that team. That'd be huge.
Yeah. So you may not get that his first year, but that's the kind of player you probably get at least by year 2. But he's a veteran player, so you could get some instant production there. I got Mikael Brown Jr., another guy who can play the 1 or 2, in my opinion, 6'5". Nate Ament, I have him going to Milwaukee at number 10. He's a 6'10". I think his best position is going to be small forward, even at 6'10". A tremendous off-the-ball defender, right? One of his strengths, and he can shoot the basketball too. So that's my top 10.
He's 6'10", Rob, and
you got 6'10"
at small forward.
He's a lean 6'10", though.
Right.
And to me, that's his better position. He can handle the basketball. I mean, DeMonte's 6'9" and is a small forward, too. So you're talking about 1 inch. But Ament is a great off-the-ball defender. But he comes off the ball and block a lot of shots and things of that nature. A lot of size. So I'll skip around here a little bit. The Hawks' second pick in the first round, I got him taking Malik Thomas, 6'4" guard from Arkansas. He can play the 1 or the 2 as well, right? And then when you look at the second round, I have the Hawks taking the big man from Virginia.
That's my guy.
Let's
go.
7 foot, and he's raw offensively,
super raw.
But he's another guy that can come in and be an impact player defensively and rebounding right away.
He's 7 foot even.
Yeah. And then
long
my
arms,
pals in the second round, I got us taking Keyshawn Hall. He's 6'7", 6'8" wingman from Auburn. He'd be a guy that can come in and defend and play defense and run the floor right away. We need some work on the offensive end, though. So that's my latest mock. I don't know if there's any other players I had any questions about.
No, Luigi, I think he's coming out of the draft, which is interesting. And I do want to talk. I think if Mikael Brown is there and Mars, that's going to be a tough decision for the Hawks, man, because I heard Mikael Brown has just been killing it in workouts. And this is where the challenge comes into play, right? Because one half of you
got him at number 9 right now.
I know. Hawks fans, you're like, okay, is there a young guy that come in to make an impact, or you want like a veteran guy too? So you're kind of looking at two sides with this. But I heard he was doing really good in workouts, man. There's 2 guys that I like out of the draft. 3. I like Mikael Brown. I like Mara. I like Cam Carr. That's my guy, man. I think that guy's gonna be a great player.
Cam Carr got him, but he's kind of like in between your number 8 and 23.
Yeah.
So I got him going number 16 to Memphis right now. But
that sounds about right.
A team that I think that could benefit from Cam Carr will be Detroit. Right? They need another guy that come in and give you instant offense. To me, I think Cam Carr can be a 6 man and come off the bench and score the rock.
I just love his defense, man. I love he can score. He's lengthy. He's got like a 7 foot something something crazy like that. Yeah. That's the guy that I like compete against the Knicks, and he's a scorer too, man. So he's just that's the guy that I'm like, he does 3 things well. He scores, shooting, and he plays defense. And I mean, that's the triple threat to me. That's the guy I want on my squad. To combat against the Knicks, man. That's some bullshit right there. That's what I'm saying.
Luigi, I have him going in the second round right now, 35 overall to San Antonio. Right, give them another big man. Give them some depth there. He's a little raw, but you can't teach 7'3".
Yeah.
And he's got some decent athletic ability. So with the right coaching, he could be a solid role player for you.
Yeah, right now, like the top 4, no surprises. We can keep talking about that all day long. Like I said, we're curious as far as where Wagner goes, where Acuff goes.
Yeah, number 5 is where the draft starts.
Right, and then Nate Ahmet, like you said, Gary, that dude's like 16. He's been shooting up the draft boards, man, because I don't think Robbie had him going as high, and now he's just kind of like a Damara. Like a couple of drafts.
I've kind of had him around number 10 most of my mocks.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see. Well, I heard there's some teams that really love his game, and then just kind of the situation with. There was a guy from Arizona, I think it's Martin Kovis or something like that went back to Arizona.
Yeah,
if he stayed in the draft, Krivas. If he stayed in the draft, that would have been a different conversation. But now I'm like, So now that's why Dave Moore is like the guy, because he's like the only 7-footer, and you're like, okay, 7'3" person. Excuse me. I like Quintus. I like Quintus. I think he's gonna, interesting. I like Christian Anderson too. There's a couple guys that I like that are gonna be really good too, man. So
who you said before Christian Anderson?
Jaden, is it Quintus? Is that his name, from Kentucky? The big man?
The big man.
I like him too.
He's talented, but he's just been so
injury
prone.
Yeah. So there's a couple guys I like, but
I have Quintus going 22 to Philadelphia right before your 23rd pick.
Yeah.
And I have Christian Anderson going to Oklahoma City at 17.
Yeah, he's a player too. And I like him, Mbuka, from Corey from Stanford too. But there's a couple situations. Where
I think he's going to be a true point guard in the NBA. I got him going 25 to the Lakers right now.
So I think if he's 23, so if we get big man first, if we keep the 23rd pick, we'll probably be a guard. It's opposite too, because if we get a guard, or we'll kind of get a draft player at the end. But like I said, in Andre's perfect world, I got to get Cam Carr somewhere in this pick. Good stuff. Check out the page. As far as that, let's kind of wrap this up here. I want to get Gary's thoughts too, as far as a couple situations. Where do you think, a couple players will land, whether it's LeBron, Kawhi, and Giannis, as we kind of wrap this up too? Because there's a lot of this has been a pretty interesting offseason for sure. And NBA trying to stay in the
offseason just started. It's already interesting.
100%.
Where do you think LeBron's going to land? Golden State?
I think he's going to wind up back with the Lakers. I really do.
That's probably it.
I think at this stage in his life, he's settled in LA. I don't think he wants to be apart from his family like that. They're pretty much settled there.
He's not going to have any shot with the Lakers.
He probably won't, but I don't think at this stage in his career that he wants to move. That's just my personal opinion. He's got businesses set up there now. It seemed like it's mutual that the Lakers want him back. And, he basically took a team that would miscast to the second round of the playoffs last year, right, at 41 years old. And, if they can get Luka and get it. Now, the interesting thing to me is what kind of money they're going to give him. Now, if LeBron wants to win another chip, he probably should take a huge pay cut, right? Yeah. But is he going to take that huge pay cut is the question, right? And so I know Golden State is going to try to acquire him.
Yeah.
And I know Golden State's going to try to do everything they can to give Steph at least one more shot at another title. And so between LeBron and between Kawhi Leonard, I think Golden State's going to try to acquire one of those players. But, I don't think this is going to happen. But if LeBron really wants to win another title, what team?
Spurs.
I think
Spurs.
You took words out of my mouth. Yeah.
Spurs.
I think the Spurs. What did the Spurs lack in that series against the Knicks?
Closers and leadership.
Yep. They lacked a closer and they lacked leadership.
Yep.
LeBron will be the perfect guy to come in there and be a
leader. Calm the storm.
Yeah, he would.
Just say, hey, slow it down, guys.
Yep.
And imagine him and Wemby and the young squad and Harper and Castle and Cornette. That'd be scary. We put ideas.
What would it take to get him there? What would the Lakers get in return?
Well, he's a free agent.
Okay, so he's a free agent. So So that's a perfect.
The Spurs or the Warriors, and then like you said, I could buy a plane, Rob, and fly back and forth. I don't need my business. They cool,
Chris
but I
Paul
don't need it that bad.
Well, I think the Spurs actually are would be a better fit for him.
He's a closer,
with that young team.
Yeah,
teach him some of those. Some of those skills to be a champion.
Yeah, yep. But to me, we talked. The two things that the Spurs lacked was veteran leadership on that team. LeBron will bring that, and they need a closer, right? He may not always be a closer from a scoring standpoint, but he always makes the right plays at the end of the game, and that's what they lacked.
De'Aaron Fox is not a closer.
Man, he built another Caesar's Palace with all them bricks he was shooting up there, man. I mean, that was ridiculous.
He was second in MVP voting.
That was great. That was hilarious. You said that to me. Yeah.
He was the next second MVP.
But see,
he
Richard,
was 3 out of 15 in that game.
But that's the thing, Richard. I mean, you don't need anybody to. You need somebody to steady the team, and as Rob mentioned, and as you just need somebody to basically sit there and don't make mistakes, man. Because
Richard, LeBron isn't the closer he was 5 years ago.
Yeah, but here's the key. I don't think he has to be the closer. He's gonna make the right play.
He's gonna set them up.
Yeah. Yep. He's gonna make the right play, whether it's him scoring or positioning somebody else to score. He's gonna make the right play with his basketball IQ.
Yeah.
And that's what the Spurs lack. And I'm gonna tell you something. This Dylan Harper kid, he's gonna be the Spurs' best offensive player. Not Wemby. Dylan Harper. Now Wemby will be the most overall impactful player, but Dylan Harper is gonna be their best offensive player. That kid is special.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, that's another reason why they're talking about getting rid of De'Aaron Fox, was because he was taking minutes away from Harper. Harper didn't want to come off the bench, and so that was causing a little tension, if you want, in the locker room as well. So De'Aaron Fox will probably not be returning to the Spurs. He can take his butt back to Sacramento or whatever, but we'll see. I don't think he's going to come back, man. That's a whole other situation for sure, man. But
there's a video out there that's showing De'Aaron Fox key card won't work. It won't let him back in the Spurs building.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
man.
Really?
Hilarious.
Oh, I love.
The internet is ruthless.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, we talked about a couple situations. I don't know if Kawhi's going anywhere. I mean, at this juncture, I think he's too.
Yeah, the Spurs. I don't think the Clippers are going to part with him.
They don't want to. I know the Warriors had inquired about him. Or like, nah, they pretty much declined that.
I think the Warriors would love to get LeBron, and LeBron and Steph had great chemistry during the Olympics a couple of years ago, and the two of them basically carried him to a gold medal.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. But if they can't get LeBron, I think they're going to attempt to get Kawhi, but I don't think the Clippers.
It's not going to work. Yeah, that's another thing too. Let's talk about where Giannis is going to land, if you will, too. So where do you think this could happen? I like said before, I think he wants to play in Miami, but that
he wants to stay in the East. So I think it's definitely between Miami and Boston, right?
Yeah.
But even with the Boston trade, it sounds like it'll be a 3-team trade with the Clippers getting involved, and actually Jaylen Brown will go to the Clippers and play with Kawhi Leonard, and the Bucks will get the Clippers number 5 pick. They will get the Celtics number 27 pick, and then they will get a bunch of role players, right? And they'll get some future first round picks. So that's the latest rumor. We'll have to see. But if the Bucks want a star in return, the Celtics will be their best chance.
Yeah.
They'll be their best chance with either getting Jaylen Brown or Tatum. The Miami Heat deal is going to offer Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, who I think is a nice young big, right? And also they would get like 4 or 5 first round picks.
So they get the number 13 pick from the.
I just think it would be smart of him to go to. I mean, I don't like the Celtics. I think that's a better
move. Yeah.
For him.
The thing is, but I think he really wants to play in Miami. That's the tough part, Gary. And you're like, bruh, you're definitely not helping the Bucks if you do that, man. Because that's the world of treat. He really wants to play in Miami. You're like, man.
Yep.
Because of the taxes, Florida, all that. It's a lot warmer. So it feels like
Miami's not cheap though.
It's not cheap.
I mean, he'll be a millionaire. It's not.
That's not going to be the.
But this is the
Gary
thing.
Schaefer moving down there. Okay,
Gary, Miami, Boston,
one of you rich guys.
Miami, Boston, Miami, Boston. Miami's a lot nicer than. Now, living with us.
Well,
I like the city of Boston. To be honest with you, but I hate
the sports team. But it's a lot colder.
Right. If he's interested in winning a championship, Boston. I think he's got more of an opportunity
in Boston,
as we see it laid out right now.
Yes.
In Boston.
Yes.
Yeah. But if he's fine with one and he just wants to go out and play his career, have some fun in the sun, enjoy life.
Yep.
Because there's no place like South Florida.
Yeah. The interesting piece here for me is I hate the Celtics. Man, I think they would be stupid to trade Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
I think he's their best player. It's not Tatum. When you think of Jaylen Brown, to me, he's a better all-around offensive player.
Yeah.
And he's a better defensive player than Tatum is.
Yeah.
And I hope
the
Celtics
trade big moments.
Yeah, and they were number 2 seed this year, and Tatum practically missed the entire season, right?
Yeah.
And Tatum missed the playoffs, and Jaylen Brown is their best player. Even when they won a championship a few years back, I mean, he was the Finals MVP.
Why are they so enamored with that?
Yeah. Well, Jaylen Brown speaks his mind a little bit, and he's actually a very smart guy.
Yeah.
With the Cal Berkeley, and I don't know if they like that. But to me, I hope the Celtics do trade him because I hate the Celtics. but looking at it objectively, I think the Celtics are crazy for trading Jaylen Brown for a guy, Giannis, who's won the NBA title but hasn't been healthy for 2 or 3 years, and Jaylen Brown is younger. To me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants to win a title. He's going to have to go out west and go play for one of these teams out here, OKC or
the Spurs.
Yeah. And look, as bad as Chet Holmgren was in that Game 7, it doesn't look like OKC wants to part with him. And I think to a certain degree, I agree with it. They're looking at the whole totality of it. I mean, Chet played really well in the NBA Finals last year. And then he had a really good season this year. He just had a bad Game 7, right? So when you look at the big picture, I know everybody talking about how bad he was in Game 7, and he was atrocious in that game, right? Well, he didn't shoot the ball. He played scared. But I think I could see both sides of it, but I think OKC is making the right decision.
Did they mention he was sick or anything?
I haven't heard anything about him being sick.
Because
I think he was sick of guarding Wemby.
Well, I would be too. Of course he was. Anybody would be. But we were watching that game, and he looked sick. That Game 7. I mean,
sick of guarding Wemby.
We're stopping it until we're stopping our TV and we're looking at his face. I mean, he really looked horrible. I mean,
I haven't heard anything to come out like that. And
he could,
and maybe if he was sick, some people they don't like to use excuses because it sounds like a cop out.
Right.
So even if he was sick, there's probably something he's keeping to himself because he was like, I don't want people to think I'm looking for an excuse, right?
Well, hopefully it's one of those things where everybody's critical of him, and I'm sure even teammates under their breath or in private conversations, whatever. And what happened to Chet?
Hey, SGA took up for him in the press conference.
Yeah.
I mean, SGA took up for him. He said this is probably the worst that we'll ever see of Chet Holmgren. Said he will respond. He says, I'm not worried about him and how he responds. And, we'll see how he responds because that's when that's your last game, you're gonna have a long off season.
Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is gonna have a long off season.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, if you can say the same thing about De'Aaron Fox, he played well except for the last 2 games. So can you say the same thing about him? Should we just?
I thought Fox was atrocious that whole series.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
and Chet, was Chet any better? Was Chet any better the whole series?
I thought Chet had some decent games. And when you look at Game 5 when they won, Chet had a double-double. Right. And he actually led the team in rebounds. Right. So I don't think we saw.
And he had some key blocks, and
I don't think we saw any good games from De'Aaron Fox in the NBA Finals, right? And now I thought De'Aaron Fox played well in the first series against Portland. I thought he played well in the second series against Minnesota. But ever since he got that injury and he missed Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals,
maybe it's injury related. Maybe it could be injury related though. That's the thing. I mean, that's a lot of, yeah. So yeah. So you can compare the same thing how Chet played really bad, and you can compare how De'Aaron Fox played really bad if you look at it too. So it's interesting on that same level playing field, I would say. You know.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts before we get ready to wrap up another edition of Talking Sports? We're going to wrap this up because we've been going for a nice hour and 30 minutes here. So anything else you want to wrap up or say before we get ready for next week?
I got nothing.
We didn't really get a chance to talk about college basketball. We'll if you want to set the table for that next week, Rob, that's totally fine. I know we'll be talking about draft stuff probably. I know there's some pretty exciting news about Ohio State and the WNBA expanding to 50 games in 2027. That's pretty spectacular, and little things like that too. But it's money's coming in, and it's good for the WNBA for sure, man. So exciting for that, man. But that's all good. Let's get ready. Let's set the stage for next week as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we have to talk about what night y'all want to roll on next week. Assuming Wednesday night again. If that works for you guys.
Always going to be Wednesday.
Wednesday's good.
Yeah. Wednesday night, folks. Next week, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you all in New York City, if y'all could just slow down and stop partying for a second, tune into our show on next Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern. Miami, we want to hear from you guys. That's going to be the second night of the NBA draft. It's going to be the second round of the draft on next Wednesday. So we'll be able to recap the NBA draft. We'll be able to see what happens with Giannis, what happens with Jaylen Brown, what happens with Trey Murphy, John Morant, some of these players that may be getting traded. So we'll have a lot to talk about on next Wednesday night, everyone. I'll be in Colorado Springs, so it'll be 9 p.m. Mountain Time for those of you all in Colorado Springs, Denver, and Salt Lake City. Be blessed, everyone.
So if I call at 4 Pacific, it'll actually be 5.
That's not too much better.
Oh, America. 2 last questions. I'm going to ask this to Gary Rob for wrap up. We think Giannis is going to be gone. He's not going to be playing with the Bucks. That's correct, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It's not happening before the draft or after the draft. What do you think?
I think before, because
I don't know.
I think Milwaukee wants at least one additional pick in this year's draft.
I agree.
So I think it's going to be before.
Yeah.
I think they'll have some kind of agreement in principle before this draft.
I agree. Yep. So
that's get a couple of draft picks from OKC.
OKC is the Joker don't want to work with us. He don't want to play in the West.
Yep. Well, I think it's mutual though. Like I said, I don't think OKC wants to part with their roster either.
Yeah.
And so I think it's mutual. And look, in order for the mat to work in OKC, OKC has to give up one of the big 3.
Yeah.
Right. They can't just trade draft picks. In order for the mat to work in the cap, they have to trade Holmgren or Jalen Williams.
We'll see. Hey, Rich, we'll come back to your ugly votes for the ugly team. But I got to find some players for this, man. That's hilarious. We'll keep that moving because I got some players that it's easy to pick on Sam Cassell, man. That dude was like the alien, but man, again, I try to be conscious about people's feelings. I mean,
I loved his game, though. I loved his game.
Oh man, that dude was he was definitely. There's a dude that plays for I think he plays for Boston. He has the ears that are like that's the one dude I got to find his name, man. I think I figured that that's what I'm thinking of, man. So but they used to make fun of the Boston Celtics. They used to have the one. They're like, yeah, that dude. That looks like Celtic guy. So they just had some crazy looking guys, man. So we'll circle back for that for sure, man. But Good stuff, gentlemen. Have a fantastic rest of your week. I'm sure we'll be texting each other through our stuff, and we'll stay tuned because I agree with Rob. I think there's going to be a move. What's going to happen with Giannis before the draft, man? So that's going to be pretty big news. The NBA likes to stay in the news for sure, man. So we'll keep an eye on that, 100%.
Sounds good.
All right, gentlemen.